Hello, yoga friends. Time for another tiny yoga talk. And this week I want to move a little bit into discussing the ideas that are very important in yoga, ideas of practice and non-attachment, those two things paired. In the first book of Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, um, pretty much it says practice and non-attachment. That can be your entire focus of yoga. But you need some more specifics than that. Before I talk about that, I want to read a brief little piece from Khalil Gibran's The Prophet, where the prophet is answering questions from the townspeople. It says, Then a weaver said, Speak to us of clothes. And the prophet answered, Your clothes conceal much of your beauty, yet they hide not the unbeautiful. And though you seek in garments the freedom of privacy, you may find in them a harness and a chain. Would that you could meet the sun and the wind with more of your skin and less of your raiment. For the breath of life is in the sunlight, and the hand of life is in the wind. Some of you say, It is the north wind who has woven the clothes we wear. And I say, Aye, it was the north wind. But shame was his loom, and the softening of the sinews was his thread. And when his work was done, he laughed in the forest. Forget not that modesty is for a shield against the eye of the unclean. And when the unclean shall be no more, what were modesty but a fetter and a fouling of the mind? And forget not that the earth delights to feel your bare feet, and the winds long to play with your hair. So this morning, that reading which I read in my morning yoga class reminded me of a time that I was leading a group of about a dozen 10 to 12-year-olds on a week-long mountain trip. It was pretty exhausting, as you can imagine, but fun too. And it was time for our overnight camp out. So we were up in the area of Silo, North Carolina, near the South Toe River and Mount Mitchell. And I took them on about an hour hike out to an old homestead. There's a big grassy meadow in the mountains with a small pond, and the only thing that remained of the home was a stone chimney. And when we came into the meadow, I could just see through the tall grass at the other end of the meadow near the pond that someone was laid out on the blanket. I couldn't really see much else. But the first thing I thought was, if I was out here on this beautiful sunny summer day in the mountains by myself, what would I be doing? Probably lying in the sun with all my clothes off. So I said, hey guys, let's go right over here to the campsite under the trees and set up our camp. So we did that, and by the time we came out, the person was gone. Well, years later, I was working on the Eno River in Durham with an artist who was getting ready to paint murals of nature on the walls of the Raleigh-Durham International Airport. And he wanted to get some source work for the Eno. So I had him out collecting some of the fishes in the Eno River and talking about them. And I told him that story because he was also up from the Silo area. And he said, I'm almost 100% sure that that was my wife because she goes up there sunbathing all the time. So it was true. His wife was lying naked down by the pond, so it was good that I took the kids over to the side for a bit. Why am I telling you all that about practice and non-attachment? Because last week I focused mostly on the principles of yama in our talks. Those are the ethical restraints. This really deals with how you interact with other people in the world. We're going to move more into niyama, which are the internal restraints. It's more some guidelines for your own yoga practice. And one of those principles is tapas. Tapas means to heat or to burn. So it's like a refining heat. So all of the efforts that you do in yoga are like the fire which refines you from just iron ore, turns you into steel. And if you think, how do you make something like pure iron or something like that? You don't do it by adding a lot of things to it. You do it by removing the impurities. So you go out sunbathing in the mountains, you're getting rid of some of those excess things that you carry around all the time, like your clothes. You don't really need them in that point. You're out in the middle of nowhere. Only the hawks and the bullfrogs are going to see you. So with tapas, you're really trying to get rid of the unnecessary rather than gaining the necessary. So yoga says you already have all that you need inside of you, and that's perfect and wonderful. You just got to get rid of the things that are cluttering your life and keeping you from seeing all the good things inside yourself. So as you practice your yoga this week, and maybe as you go through the day today, think about what are some things that maybe you're holding on to in your life that you don't need to. In the West, we hold on to a lot of physical possessions that we don't need to. I think there are as many storage, if you took all the storage units in the U.S. and put them together, they would cover the area of Delaware, an entire state, for things that we don't want to, throw away. And then there's all sorts of emotional and even intellectual kind of things that we hold on to that are also holding us back. So do a little bit of a metaphorical sunbathing in your life, less clothes, more sunshine, and we'll talk again soon. Have a great day.